I only had one loss during that time. When I say a loss of one young man, I tried and tried and tried and tried to save as a young man from 8, 9, 10 years old, and I didn't make it. And he's still incarcerated today. You're the second one that I can't say the word lost, but I'm disappointed in because I was close with you. Okay? I want you to know something. I'm not bitter. Oh, I was mad when I first saw that empty cabinet and went back on the camera, and I went back a week. It took me a week to find you pulling in my driveway. And when you got out of that car, there was anger. There was, I can't even, every emotion there can be. I said, not Z. I went and told Debbie. I said, Debbie, it was Z that stole the coins. She went, no, it couldn't be. But it was. But if I could go back in time before you had trouble with the law.
This testimony will shock you to your core. One voice, one moment, and everything changes in the courtroom. Stay to the end. You won't believe what happens next.
You're on record in cause number CR 22-214, State of Texas versus Corey and Jere Fulbright. We're set today on a restitution hearing in this matter. It's my understanding that the parties have reached an agreement with regard to the issue of restitution. Is that correct, Mr. Nicholas?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And the court has prepared an order reflecting that agreement. It appears to be signed by Mr. Hernandez for the state, Mr. Schmidt. You and your client have reviewed it. Y'all agreed to it, and y'all signed this order. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right, then based on the agreement, the court will follow the agreement. Court hereby orders Zachary and Jere Fulbright to pay restitution in the amount of $35,000 to Mr. Jerry Red at the address located in the court's agreed order on restitution. We have anything else in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Red is present in the courtroom and would like an opportunity for allocution here.
Mr. Schmidt, any objection? Okay. All right, you can come forward.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, you're about to witness a testimony that will leave you speechless. Every word matters. Every second counts. Watch closely. What unfolds next will stay with you long after.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the time. My name is Jerry Red. I just want to take a minute to address the defendant, who I've known for a long time. Just got a prepared statement to read to you, Zachary. And basically it says, Mr. Fulbright, I've known you now for several years, since you were in high school. I still remember contacting the then high school coach, football coach at Wills Point, to see if he would recommend any of his players to work for me for extra money, part-time. Without hesitation, he gave me your name and I think one other. Back then, I was in my 60s, and you were either a sophomore or a junior. I'm not sure. You're playing football. And I'm 74 now, had open heart surgery, had a lot of changes in my life and everything. But you worked for me for several years, Zachary. And I'll be honest, you were one of the hardest workers I'd ever had. No one ever worked harder than you did. I trusted you. Me and my wife, Debbie, who's sitting out there. We trusted you with everything. We trust you like a son. I have 3 sons and another stepson, stepdaughter. And I trust you. We'd leave the house, leave you there working, whatever. And just, I had no problem with you staying there. I paid you extra money sometimes from what I agreed to. And I'd buy you a meal or two every now and then when you were hungry. You went through some tough times, and I tried to help you. When you were down on your luck, Debbie and I discussed it. And we even offered you one of our bedrooms to stay at, so you could have a place to stay. And you turned us down, you thanked us. And it was actually, ironically, about that same time, I think it was that weekend after I went back to cameras, was the same weekend that I offered you a place to stay that you broke into my building. And I have you on camera, which they have all that information. I watched you, Zachary, on my cameras. I watched you get out of the car in my driveway. And I watched you make several trips down the side of the building, and you had to go in. The only place to go in, there was no door in the back, was a doggy door. That was the only way you could get in because the other doors never opened. Over the next almost 1 hour, you loaded many of my coin albums. I had them in 3-ring binders. I had an entire cabinet full back there that, when I saw it later, was empty, okay, for the most part. A few scattered were still there. But you loaded coin albums that I'd collected my entire life. Most of the coins were silver, but it included other kinds of coins, foreign coins, paper money, and so on. You made several trips to the passenger side of your car where you're visible on camera, loading the albums into the passenger side of the car. And when you were arrested, the officers found about 30 loose coins in your car. So you stole items of mine that were monetarily valuable. We're not rich people. Debbie and I are semi-retired. I'm still working a little bit, but we're semi-retired. And the coins were worth a lot of money, not only to me and my wife, but you know what, Zagoran? They were worth something to my 5 children, my 17 great-grandchildren, my 5 great-grandchildren. So they're all sitting up here with me, okay? What you called stole from me another word that begins with the letter M, just like money. That was called memories. The memory of me riding with my grandparents when I was 6 years old to the bank. He'd go in the bank through the drive-thru in our little 1950 Chevrolet truck with no heater, air conditioner, no radio, no nothing. And he'd pick up $20 worth of rolled coins. And I was 6, 7 years old. We did this for years. He'd give them to me. I'd get home. I'd spread them out on the floor, and I'd put them in my little blue Whitman books by date, not knowing all the others that I rolled back and gave to him to give back. I wish I'd kept, because a lot of them were silver. Yeah, but I rolled them back and gave them back. But anyhow, he did $20 worth every payday out of his meager check. And then I'd give him back probably $15, $17 because I didn't need the others. That's how I started collecting almost 70 years ago. I'm 74 now. I stayed enchanted with my coin collecting my entire life. I purchased coins in various places, and I amassed a large collection. You took a large part of that silver collection, which was really my pride and joy. I had binders of Barber Morgan's, Barber coins, Morgan and Peace dollars, half dollars, quarters, and all the other silver half dollars, including Liberties. I know every coin there is out there. I know every error coin there is. You stole my prize Kennedy collection of everything. And it wasn't worth but a few $1,000s by itself. But that was one of my prizes because it was complete. I have since started trying to replace some of the coins, paper money, but it took me almost 70 years to get there, and I'll never replace them all. But you know what? That's not going to matter. It's not going to matter when I'm not here someday. It's going to matter to my kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. See, you may not know it. I don't know if I ever talked to you or not, but I was an old coach for 16 years. I coached hundreds of young boys and girls, and I prided myself in not only teaching them the sport, for which the most part was baseball and soccer, but I tried to teach them about life. In particular, I would stress that all choices have consequences, some good and some bad. Out of all those years of coaching, I was blessed to have a lot of good things happen as far as these young men and women receiving scholarships, playing pro sports, having successful business careers, families, and I still keep up with them. You know, they're in their 50s now. I only had one loss during that time. When I say a loss, of one young man I tried to save as a young man from 8, 9, 10 years old, and I didn't make it. And he's still incarcerated today. You're the second one that I can't say the word lost, but I'm disappointed in, because I was close with you. Okay? I want you to know something. I'm not bitter. Oh, I was mad when I first saw that empty cabinet and went back on the camera, and I went back a week. It took me a week to find you pulling in my driveway. And when you got out of that car, there was anger. There was, I can't even, every emotion there can be. I said, not Z. I went in and told Debbie, I said, Debbie, it was Z that stole the coins. She went, no, it couldn't be. But it was. But if I could go back in time before you had trouble with the law, and I could get your record totally wiped clean and counsel you some way, I'd gladly give the value of all those coins up. See, I can tell you from my heart that I wish you nothing but the best from here on out. I pray you get your life turned around. Start hanging with the right people, which is the key to getting your life turned around. Start reading the Bible daily. God bless you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Red.
Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. Hernandez? Mr. Irwin?
No, Your Honor. Thank you
All right.
very much.
All right, then that adjourns this matter, and that does.
If you liked this video, drop a comment below and make sure to subscribe for more videos coming soon.